All right, we're going to call the September 15th meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Backo? Here. Mr. Carr? Here. Mr. Miller? Here. Mr. Smith? Here. Mrs. Keeper?
Here. This time we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, is there any board members who desire to add, delete, or separate any items on the consent agenda as proposed? No? All right, I just need a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented for the regular board meeting on September 15th, 2025.
So move. For.
Roll call.
Mr. Backo? Yes. Mr. Carr? Yes. Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith? Yes. Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on August 18th, 2025.
Support.
Roll call.
Mr. Backo? Yes. Mr. Carr? Yes. Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith? Yes. Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. Are there any board members with correspondence? Treasurer? And Mr. Smolin.
Yeah, I had a notice of resignation from Rosie Koch and John Heckelbar.
Thank you. Will you continue recognizing our guests and visitors, Mr. Smolin?
Guest with us, if you please just introduce yourself.
Sure, my name is Lindsay Monson.
I'm Austin.
Dr. Dolores Swinford, Jenny Fenton, Amber Hansel, Christy Reard,
Seth Frank. Lucas Burkholder. Brady Roper.
Hans Bradley.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, we're going to have Christy Reard from District 1, our State Board of Education, come up and address the board.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I am your State Board of Education elected member for District 1, which goes all the way over to Indiana and then down to Champaign County, up around Columbus to Richland, and then back through Findlay. So I've got 23 counties in the state of Ohio. So I'm glad to live in Swanton, Ohio, right around the corner. And I wanted to stop by tonight and commend your teachers, your educators, your building staff, and you that are here every day for our kids. So thank you for being here. I applaud them. I appreciate them. I see what they're doing. And though the state board duties are very limited to licensure and discipline, territory transfers, I am still here fighting for education for every student every day. And thank you that you are too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we will continue on with Mr. Carroll's financial reports.
All right, thank you. You have a handful of reports in front of you. First one is the cash reconciliation that shows that we are balanced with the banks. Second report, the financial summary by fund. This is how we are currently appropriated with the accounting auditors. We have the cash summary. This shows the fund balance and current encumbrances for each fund. This first one summary. This shows the checks that we issued during the month of August. We have the general fund graph. At the end of August, we are 17% of the way through the fiscal year. And everything looks good according to revenues and expenditures according to the forecast. You see the percentage there in the last column. Broken down by payroll and benefits. Again, 15% of our payroll budget has been spent. 15% of our benefits budget has been spent. The last one, state of Ohio has changed when our forecast is due, so it is technically due on October 15th. But I needed to submit it this meeting so it can be approved by then, to our board meeting date in October. So this is our forecast. There's nothing crazy on this forecast. What I would like to point out, it does look like we are running out of cash in fiscal year 28, but that is because we do have some tax levy renewals on. So I have to include that down on 11.01. So that is our forecast, and I will submit this to the state by the deadline. A couple other items on the financial agenda. We do have 3 grants. Our SOS grant with Students for Our Students. We have our wellness grant and our Perkins grant, which we have each year. A couple other items that I wanted to hit. For the budget increases or appropriation modifications. We do have, one of our bonds, that's the transfer of $54,000. Last year, we paid off one of our buildings. And there was remaining funds in that bond account, and I just wanted to document on here to move it to our other bond account, so it's a fund-to-fund transfer. And that'll go towards our bond payment coming up here for the remaining building that we have. The other item obviously is the forecast, and then, every 5 years, we have to renew our depository agreements with each bank, so that is on here as well. One thing I did want to bring up is we have a 0.25% income tax that is expiring at the end of 27th. And we have the opportunity to throw that on next May and November if you guys would like.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Carroll at this time?
Where are we standing with the Nexus pipeline?
So Nexus has settled. Rover is in the process of, but I don't have a number yet, so that should be coming out in probably the next couple of weeks. So Rover has settled as well. Everything that I know is the true, for all years. There are some people saying it might just be for 2019. But we don't know yet.
Bob Bank car.
Every time you guys ask, I feel like I gotta. I won't know until I get a report from our company.
But we know, yeah.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna jump into the financial section of the consent agenda. We need a motion to approve the August 2025 financial reports that we just reviewed with Mr. Carroll. We need to accept the following donations: $100 anonymous donation to the Student Assistance Fund, as well as $3,000 from the 180th Officer Club for the Landon Kirschner Memorial Fund. We also need to approve the following grants into modified appropriations and amend resources accordingly. $7,500 for SOS, and then the NBHP Wellness for $2,600, and the Carol Perkins grant for $1,000. We also need to establish the district in tuition rate for the 25-26 school year at $12,807.59, and the out-of-state tuition rate at $12,598.69, as established by the Ohio Department of Education. We need to approve the following transfer appropriations and modifications to amend resources accordingly. There's a short list there at the end of that page, as well as the ones Mr. Carroll reviewed with us on the second page. Last thing is we need to approve, I'm sorry, it's not the last thing, it's that. Approve the financial forecast to the submitted to Ohio Department of Education for the workforce that we just reviewed with Mr. Carroll by October 15th, 2025. And lastly, to approve the following depository agreements for July 31st, 2025 through July 31st, 2030 for Metamora State Bank. At this time, I just need a motion to approve the financial reports and other financial items.
Move.
Questions or discussion?
You know, I'm gonna ask about the cafeteria, right?
I figured you might. So 100,000 of this is to get us going for the year. It's starting off pretty well.
Advance for the year, sure.
Correct. The other 100,000 is to finalize our invoice from the previous company, as we just settled 4 weeks ago.
Okay,
So
how's it been? Any indication of how it's been so far this year? I know it's hard to tell, it's a pretty short sample.
not yet.
Okay.
It's a slow start.
Okay, thank you.
May I add one? Sure. The $3,000 from the 180th, that is a group of coworkers from Mr. Kreischer that they pulled together, came together and raised these funds. They hand delivered that check out here a while back. It was pretty easy to that, so
That's awesome.
that goes to the business.
Thank you. We'll continue with roll call, Mr. Carroll.
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs.
Yes, motion carries. We'll continue on to personnel. We need to accept the resignations of the following, Rosie Cope for bus driver effective August 22nd, 2025, John Alcovarder, technology coordinator effective September 15th, 2025. We need to offer the following individuals a non-teaching 1-year limited contract for Lydia Jones, 4-hour aide position, and Katie Daniels transportation aide for 6 hours. We need to offer the following supplemental contract for the 25-26 school year pending the completion of any and all certification and licensure requirements for Amanda Brain, mentor teacher Sherry Call, mentor teacher, and Andrea Hessen for mentor teacher. We need to offer the following supplemental contracts for 25-26 school year pending the completion of all pupil activity permits. Sarah Freese for head softball coach, Chris Owens, head baseball coach, Alex Lutheran for head track coach. This time we just need a motion to approve the above listed personnel positions.
So moved.
Support.
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. We'll move on to other business. Need a motion to allow Evergreen High School student athletes to participate in the 25-26 indoor track and field season using the Evergreen High School name. Athletes will be under the supervision of adult volunteers that have pupil permits, and all participation will cease before the beginning of the outdoor track and field season. If approved, the Evergreen local school district will assume no cost or liability for the indoor track participants and coach and volunteers.
Fourth.
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yeah.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. We need a motion to approve an Evergreen High School Gymnastics Club for the 25-26 school year. The district will assume no costs associated with the club. All costs, including but not limited to transportation, uniforms, entry fees, coaching fees, and participation fees are assumed by the club members. The EHS Gymnastics Club will be permitted to operate using the Evergreen High School name and Board of Education logo approved.
So moved.
Support.
Questions or discussion?
How many students we have interested in this? One.
Yeah, she did it last year as well.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yep.
Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. Be in motion to approve the following cell phone policy to comply with the House Bill 250. Use of cell phones to support school environments in which students can fully engage with their classmates, their teachers, and instruction. The Board of Education of Evergreen Local Schools has determined that the use of cell phones by students during school hours should be limited. Students will not possess their cell phones, smartwatches, or earbuds in the building on school days from 8 a.m. to 2:50 p.m. Cell phones remain in student lockers or the office during the school day. Students will not access their cell phones, smartwatches, or at any time from 8 to 2:50. Upon their request, students can obtain a lock for their lockers in the main office.
Move. Support.
Roll call? I'm sorry, any discussion?
Teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers follow the same.
It's not in the teacher handbook, but they're not expected to use it unless they're on the break period. We had this in place last year. It's just, we have to have it on the books for House Bill to meet their requirements, so that's why it's on the agenda, but it was in the handbook that we've already approved.
But I think even for our teachers, it's in their handbook as well that we
Okay.
approved, I believe, so. All right, roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. We need a motion to approve a school service contract with Grow Your Mind LLC in Bryan, Ohio, to provide speech language services to Evergreen students attending LEAP during the 25-26 school year at a cost of $80 per hour. Last year was $70. An approximate time of 1 hour per week is recommended at this time.
So support.
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we need a motion to approve the payment of $90,000 to AI Learning Solutions for a 3-hour professional development session on artificial intelligence and education for 45 staff members. Upon completion of professional development session, the staff members will receive their AI and education certification. The AI and education certification is fully reimbursed through Ohio Tech credit.
So moved. Support.
Questions or discussion?
This was the one that was done a week or two ago.
Yep, this was our PD that
Heard it
we
was
just had.
quite successful and well received.
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
All right, roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Miller? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. Mr. Simola, will you continue with discussion and information?
Yeah, for documentation purposes, we have listed some teachers who continued their education and moved a column on our pay scale, so congratulations to them. Just wanted that to be on the record that they're here, so. We have a few teachers there listed.
All right. Mr. Frame.
All right, so I'm happy to report that things have started off well at the elementary school. We had our open house on the 18th and 19th. We split it up again this year so the younger kids would be able to explore the school and not feel so overwhelmed with the older kids there as well. We had a really good turnout, and I wanted to thank our MVP for providing dinner for the staff. I'd also like to thank Trent Williams for his hard work and along with the custodial staff, as they have our building looking really nice and ready for the school year. One new thing that we're starting, the building leadership team decided to implement a shout out program. So our students will receive shout outs from the teachers for exemplifying specific traits that we're looking for respect, being on task, being safe, being good friends, being good helpers. So that's a really neat way. Our students will be announced on Fridays and come down to the office and receive those shout outs. So anything we can do to recognize our kids, we're help for that. Our parent teacher conference scheduling went out this past Friday, so parents are encouraged to sign up via Parent Square. Each teacher sent out those lists to the parents of the kids in their class. One thing that we'd like to get community involvement with is our Vikings Succeed mentoring program. So we're looking for community members who are willing to come in and be mentors for some of our students. And these would be mainly coming into tutor and reading and math. So there's in the board notes, there's a link where people can sign up for that. It's also, Jenny is also sending that out in the district newsletter. Last thing, the EES first graders just welcomed their grandparents to school this past Friday, and we had a huge turnout. We had to set up extra tables and chairs. Last year, there were 5 different classes of first graders, and this year we only have 4 classes of first graders. And we've even had more people here this year with only 4 classes, so we're seeing the numbers growing by the sounds of this. So next year, we're excited to have to set up an expanded area for that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. Any questions for Mr. Frank? Awesome. Mr. Cooper.
Good evening. Quick middle school update for you. We have our first People's Champs of the year. I say champs because we actually awarded 2 for the first month of school. Remember, these are teacher recommendations, so peers or our staff recognizing each other. Kelsey Wolf was recognized for her dedication to our building. If you haven't seen her lately, it's because she's extremely busy coaching a volleyball team, helping lead our STEAM program, and just being a 6th grade teacher on top of all that. The other one that we wanted to recognize was Brent Wilder. He's only been with our district for about 9 months now on the custodial staff. Brent's been awesome, breath of fresh air to have in the building as far as somebody who doesn't complain, does whatever's asked of him, and he does everything with a positive attitude like is around our building. So the whole staff in general is pleased with how the middle school is looking lately. Started the year with a lot of the same things we did last year. We did an orientation night on the 18th. We did a little bit different this year. We just had the 5th graders in for the first hour, kind of giving them the biggest amount of space and most attention. And then we had all the returning kids, 6 through 8, come for the second half of the orientation. And overall, that went pretty good this year. We made a few improvements to make everything streamlined for families. We want to thank MVP because they fed us at night. They do this 4 or 5 times a year for us, which is always really much appreciated by the staff. We did a staggered start as well to start this year. Based on last year's feedback, it was really popular, not just with students. Obviously, they don't mind the staggered start, but the teachers and the parents enjoyed it. Year 2, same idea. It went really well. We had 5th and 7th grade for the first day and 6th and 8th for the second day, and then everybody on that Friday together. So it's a good start to the year. Kind of allowed us to get the flow of the building happening in a way that doesn't cause too much stress or anxiety for the kids. We're continuing our house program with our 6 houses. I want to just kind of bring up, we did the Point Drive Challenge for the Cure, kind of associated with the FFA. They asked us if we participate, and the middle school did really good with this. Our houses competed against each other, and but collectively we raised over $210 as a building for that. So Ms. Howell was pretty stoked to see how much the middle school kids were able to bring in. We're going to have our first Amazing Shake practices next week. We had our first lesson last Friday, so our 6th and 7th graders are going to continue that program. We'll have a lot of people from the district working that first practice for us, but we're excited to continue that. And last but not least, I wanted to give recognition to Cindy Williams and DesignX, and also Tom Wolf and Union Bank. Both of them have made donations to our Amazing Shake program, so we can continue doing what we're doing. They've both been part of it in the past as far as helping as a volunteer, but also seeing what our kids are growing and doing in. And so they're both more than willing to donate right away. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller. Mr. Roofer.
Good evening, not to sound redundant, but we got off to a great start at the high school. I met with almost every individual staff member, had a chance to talk to them. The transition to 7 periods has been smooth. It's been helpful to have enrichment every day. I want to thank you guys for approving and Mr. Dole for the camera system. It is money well spent. It is awesome, very helpful. It's a good way to keep my eye on the building and security, so thank you for that. That's been very helpful. We do have our homecoming big ticket item coming up. October 3rd is Friday, so we usually start the week before that with our Clash of the Classes. I did want to highlight this year, we're working with the athletic boosters to put together a community parade. Each grade level is going to create a float on trucks or trailers, and then the attendance will be on that. And I believe they're opening it up to other community organizations, EYA, whoever wants to get involved. And then we just got to finalize the parade route. So that'll start at 5, go around the campus, and then it'll end up by the football field. So more information. I know Katie Allendorf's leading that, so more information will be coming out, but mark your calendars for that. As everything is a part of the athletic department strategic plan, we're trying to improve engagement, community involvement. We have enlisted 10 students who we kind of identified to be some leaders, our spirit squad leaders. Trying to get some positive change in student sections and involvement more from the kids at sporting events and that kind of thing. So we're working with them on that. Another example of student leadership, our student council put on the Under the Lights on Friday. That was completely student driven. They organized it, they created the flyers, they did everything. I thought it was a great event. We had anywhere from 80 to 90 kids hang out afterwards. It was amazing. There was no cell phones. Kids were just there. They were playing games and hanging out. So that was good to see some students put that together all on their own. But other than that, that's all I have. If you have any other questions.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Roofer. Mrs. Bradlin.
Transportation Department had their spot inspections for the buses August 6th and August 7th. Start of the school year, all 31 buses passed their inspections, thanks to our mechanic Jeff Abrams. The bus drivers had their annual 4-hour in-service, August 4th. It was the second parts of a 2-part series. The first part was last year in Archbold. It was START training, and it stands for School Transportation Active Threat Response Training. So we had the in-class portion last year in Archbold, which was provided by the NWOESC. And this year we had some grants available that Dr. Dolores Swineford helped us get and paid for the second part, which was an on the bus training. We literally got on the bus. We were had a pretend hand cap gun, and they fired it off, and we were doing some maneuverability, trying to throw them off. And it was really good to have some, on the bus training with that sort of scenario. So our team has been trained to identify suspicious items left on or near a bus. They helped us learn how to build trust with the students and the parents, recognize early warning signs of potential threats. Like I said, we also practice the safe evasive maneuvers to help disrupt any active threat situations that would possibly happen on a bus. Most of our drivers, and I say most because I think there's 1 or 2 that are new drivers that are possibly not certified for CPR and first aid, but most of our drivers are now CPR and first aid certified, thanks to the training that they had completed last year. And just so we know, as school buses serve as mobile classrooms, our drivers are prepared to act as first responders in the event of a crisis. This school year, we started off with 20 bus drivers, so all of our routes are currently filled. Last year we had 1 driver that was not available, put in there, whatever. Anyways, we were down 1 driver. We had to disperse that route. This year we have all 20 routes that are moving. And we have the 3 substitute bus drivers with 1 being trained at this time, so we're looking pretty good. Lastly, we no longer have students enrolled in IEC. We are currently using the LEAP Center that is in Waseon. So we now transport students to and from 5 schools, not 6. We have Evergreen, we have the LEAP School, we have New Horizons out in Waseon, the 4 County Career Center, and Holy Trinity. We currently transport 969 students out of 1,278 that I have listed in my easy routing software. Any questions?
No, thank you, Mrs. Fredlin.
But my students.
Dr. Swineford.
Today was pretty exciting. The state released the local report cards for schools and districts. I am happy to share that our district did increase overall rating. So in front of you, you have a packet. In that packet, I'm going to kind of go through it pretty quickly. But first of all, I wanted to share, we are a 4.5 star out of 5-star district. Downfall is, if we would have improved either our college, career, workforce, military component to, so 2 stars to 3 stars, or our literacy, early literacy from 3 stars to 4 stars, we would have been a 5-star district. So we are that close, that close. Okay, the first sheet just kind of talks a little bit overall. It has slightly changed because they have added that 6th component of the career, college, career, workforce, and military readiness component. So now there are 6 components instead of 5. And if you look at the bottom, this is directly from the state. And you can see where we fall as far as overall rating at as a district level. We are one of 95 schools in the state of Ohio that have made 4.5 stars. On the next page in your packet, it actually breaks it down by achievement, by the different components: achievement, progress, gap closing, early literacy, graduation, and that college, career, workforce, and military readiness. So when I go through that, if underneath it, you can see overall as a district for achievement, we were 5 stars. Everything that is highlighted in green is an improvement from last year. And if you actually want to look at the page 3, that is looking at last year's report card. So you can actually see both of them in front of you. So we went from 4 stars to 5 stars. For the progress component, and right now I'm just talking district-wide, I'm not talking individual buildings. For the progress, which is looking at how our students grow from year to year, growth expectations. In education terms, it's value added. So both of those components are tied to state testing. We went from 3 stars to 4 stars. The next one is early literacy. So it's looking at K2 literacy, K3 literacy. It's also looking at promotion of 4th grade as well as the 3rd grade reading assessment, state assessment, that is only looking at that reading subscore. It's not adding that writing piece in. So we did go down here from 3 star or from 4 stars down to 3. Gap closing. This is looking at individual subgroups and closing those gaps. Another one tied to state testing. We went from 4 stars up to 5 stars this year. Chronic absenteeism also improved. We went down about 1.5% here, which is awesome. Graduation component. So the graduation component is made up of 2 cohorts, a 4-year cohort and a 5-year cohort. The 4-year cohort is the class of 24. The 5-year is the class of 23. Okay. So with that being said, we are 5 stars. When I look at the individual cohorts, the 4 or the 5, 4-year was 100%, so we improved there. We did go down in the 5-year cohort. So thinking about that, those are students, there are 6 students that fall in that category as non-graduates. They could be, they pursue a GED. They could be our students that have that year 13, year 14, that maybe go to 4 County for that extra year, okay? Or it's students that have dropped out. So if you think about our class sizes, we have about 80 to 100 students, and 4 kids can have, or excuse me, 6 students can really have a huge impact. The next piece, gifted, we met progress, but we did not meet the other 2 components of performance index and gifted services and identification. Just so you know, gifted identification of services, that is one, I was in a meeting on a webinar earlier today, and that is with gifted coordinators, and that is one that across the state, everyone's knows about. But I'm not trying to make excuses there. The last one, this is that new component. So we only received 2 stars with that. If you look at the percentage though, last year we were at 60, it only gave us 69.8% because it was not rated as a star rating. We went down to 60%. With that being said, we left about 369 college credits on the tape. So what that is, that's a reporting. It looks at how things are put in PowerSchool. So our CCP courses put in PowerSchool and how it's connected to reporting through EMS. I have reached out to NWACA. This is an area that is our error that can easily be fixed. Okay, so hopefully next year we will be at least a 4-star here. So the other piece of that was the military. A student is enlisted in the military as well. So those are 2 areas, but the biggest one was that CCP. Okay. The page 4 that you have is looking how we compare to the Fulton County districts. I was able to go into the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce website and look up individual district report cards. As you can see, we are the top one in Fulton County. So that's pretty exciting to share. Okay. And then the next couple pages, I just kind of wanted to share overall the strengths. So looking at the district, we improved in quite a few of our components. We also improved in performance index. Performance index, again, is tied with state testing, is looking at the different categories, whether they are limited, basic, limited, proficient, and all of those. So it's how our students are doing. I think the biggest one, though, is important to share is that chronic absenteeism. By decreasing that, that means our students are in school a lot, which is awesome. The elementary showed significant growth in 4th grade math for the 2nd year in a row. They also increased their performance index, as well as their overall rating. Same with the middle school, improved overall rating to 4 stars, improved their performance index, saw significant growth for the 2nd year in a row for 7th grade math. And they also decreased their chronic absenteeism. High school overall improved, even though we did not give that, only had 2 stars for the CCW, military workforce readiness, CCWR component. They still have 4.5 stars. Significant growth by a large magnitude. This year is Algebra 1 for the 2nd year, government, and then we also exceeded growth in American history. And then you can also see the decrease in chronic absenteeism. I think one thing, though, to keep in mind when we're looking at those graduation cohorts, I found it very interesting. So what the state looks at is the students that are with us from grade 9 through grade 12. So you can see on here, for the 4-year cohort, we had 79.3% of our students complete from starting in grade 9 all the way through grade 12. So that's whether that's transfer in or out. So we do have some areas of concern, like I had mentioned already, was the college career readiness and what we're going to be doing with that. The next one is early literacy, where we're going down as well. I have met with Mr. Franks already. We are looking as far as our reading interventions and how those reading interventions are being serviced to our students. The other part is this year, we are up for a K-5 curriculum resource adoption. With that, the state has provided rubrics that we must use that is aligned to the science of reading. Our current curriculum is, but it really is going more in depth into that with that rubric. So we will be doing that. I think one of the biggest things, though, that really stuck out to me is, so it looks at our fall of 23 diagnostic assessments in K-3, as well as our fall diagnostic assessments in 2024. And in 2023, we had 73 students not on track. We only moved 30 students being on track in 2024. So that's why we're really focusing on those interventions and supports for those foundational skills. See what else do I want to share. So the next thing, we really going to be meeting with individual building principals with Mr. Simola. We're going to be reviewing that report card data, kind of giving a general overview, and then we'll have a deeper dive. November 14th, we are going to be conducting our roots analysis with the support of the Northwest Ohio ESC. So we're gonna be spending, that's gonna be the focus of our professional development day on November 14th. We are also bringing back a mentoring program, as you heard earlier at the elementary, that's gonna support students in math as well as reading. We are really focusing heavily on the implementation of the MTSS process at all building levels and having meetings about that. A great asset to our team is our school psychologist, Teresa Torio. She's bringing a lot of great resources as well for this whole process. We'll continue to analyze assessment data, and that's all across. It's not just state testing. We're looking at diagnostic, we're looking at web exams as well. We will continue to offer professional development towards gifted for our teachers as well. And then, like I said, another piece is the fidelity checklist. One of the things that Mr. Frank and I spoke about was we have Orton Gillingham and integrity, phonemic awareness at the elementary. And we want to just make sure everyone has been trained, that we want to make sure those as well as being used with fidelity. Our first grade team had shared last week that they are seeing great success with the kindergarten using it. So we want to make sure that's being used across. We'll also continue to evaluate our procedures and as far as reporting and what we're using as well and stuff. So one key thing though to remember is that this is only one snapshot in time and stuff. So there are a lot of great things that are going on in our classrooms. Are we a 5-star district? Are we #1 in the state? We are not. So we have room to improve, but we do have some things to be definitely proud of. And then the last is what you will see on the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce website. Any questions?
I do. On the college career workforce,
Yes,
with 2 stars, okay, we're the worst in the county.
we are.
You said
We are.
there's a problem of not reporting. Are they also having trouble, or is it just us?
Ours is a reporting piece.
Ours is the reason.
Ours is a reporting piece. Absolutely. And I did reach out to Milwaukee this morning to get a session set up for Mr. Roofer, Mrs. Graham, Mrs. Nagy, and myself to go and sit down and have a small session with them to make sure that it is being reported correctly.
Thank you.
Any other questions? And we will share more with the public. Like I said, they just came out at 10 o'clock this morning, so I had a chance to get something together for them.
Thank you, Dr. Swainford. Any further questions, Dr.? All right, Mr. Smola.
Couple things to add, in conjunction with our strategic plan goal 2 to promote a cohesive culture to empower our students. The administrative team has begun developing a comprehensive plan for the school year to address bullying in all of our buildings. We're working with building leadership teams and student leaders to develop that comprehensive approach, so we hit it at all levels and throughout the entire school year. So it's not, one speaker coming in and doing a presentation, but we've got continuity with what we're developing. And then Fulton County superintendents are scheduled to meet with Representative Jim Hoops this Friday to discuss school funding and proposed property tax reform initiatives in Ohio. We also have a meeting scheduled for October 17th with Senator Rob McCauley. Our goal is to have our voices heard and the impact that reduced funding will have on our districts if some of these measures go through. We plan to continue to send school-related legislative updates to our families. There are currently 9 pieces of legislation proposed that would negatively impact our districts. We think it's important our communities are aware and understand how our students will be effective if this legislation is passed. So the legal updates we'll be sending out will have "Your Rights Matter" in the subject line. So we get a lot of feedback on the first one we sent out, and we're going to continue that. We were originally looking to do them monthly. Now we're going to do them bi-weekly. Any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you, Mr. Small. Are there any board members with questions and concerns at this time?
Is there any way we can get all of the superintendents in our county to send the reps to have like a forum where they come out, talk to our community, so I get, what is there, 8 schools or whatever involved in it, and have them answer the questions about the consolidation?
I will see what I can do.
I think that's the best thing, if they'll do it or not.
I will make the request and we'll see, and I will follow up. Not sure that will happen, but we'll see what we can do.
Community members can ask too, though, right? I mean, they can.
We can request as
Right.
well.
Yes, Absolutely.
So if we just get a lot of requests going, you know, Archer, Wasion, Delta, all the schools.
We can always do a joint school board one. I can pull something together if you guys want me to, and then. Bring it.
I can talk to Representative Hoops this Friday and see if he's open to it, and then propose something to Senator McCauley as well.
Right.
Anything further from board members? All right, then we need a motion to adjourn the September 15th, 2025 regular meeting of the Evergreen Local Board of Education.
Move. Or.
Roll call?
Mr. Beckler?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, motion carries.